left him. Right there, baby.
Hey guys, welcome to the second half of our 2021 elk hunt. On this morning, Josh and I decided to hike in a couple miles on an old trail.
Well guys, we are midweek and it's been pretty frustrating because the reason you hunt with primitive weapons usually is for elk to bugle, and we call it the great equalizer because then you can sort of locate where they're at, move in on them, and sometimes call them in. And it's been silent. I think I might have heard one authentic bugle the very first day, but now that I haven't heard any other bugles, and we have toured almost this whole entire area, like miles and miles, and even did road bugling last night till 12:30 and no responses. So I just think the elk are not bugling here. So we've got to make some plans whether we're going to stick it out here or see if there's some other areas we haven't touched yet in this unit. But that's the update.
Well, when the hunting is slow, at least there's some beautiful mountain lakes we can come fish. Afternoon hot time when all the elk are bedded down. Drove, I don't know, 20 miles outside of camp to a new area. Not sure we're going to try and hunt this tonight and see what it's like, but don't know if there's any elk up here. We're up pretty high, about 10,800 on top of the Continental Divide. So, pretty lake though. Throwing out a couple lures right now, being lazy with the bobber. Kicking back. I might put a couple more lures on here in a minute. Well, finished up the day. Glassing all of that. Seen, I guess, a couple deer, but hoping somehow we'd see some elk come out of the black timber. But we probably have about 25 minutes left. Probably won't be able to see anything at any distance. This new area looks awesome, but I'm gonna lay the eyes on the elk and we'll road bugle a little bit on the way out. Still in shirts. Still in shirts.
Well guys, another evening hunt for me. I'm going back to the same spot I have the last couple of evenings just because there have been elk up on this ridge. We've just never been in the perfect right spot. Last night we sat where we thought would be great, and they ended up coming down the hill lower, not in the clearing, just down into the aspen kind of open meadows. There's a lot of aspen trees in them, so I'm going to try sitting down lower where they came out last night, and we'll just see if anything happens.
I found a good spot to sit where I had no more than a 100-yard shot in any direction. After sitting there for about 2 hours, I finally heard a stick break. So I crouched down on my knees and started looking with my scope. It was 2 elk, and they were coming in fast. The lead elk was a big cow. I also realized I would have no shot in my kneeling position. So I stood up and turned on my head cam, and this is what happened. Just before my shot, the elk were back in the thick trees and they were moving fast. After I stood up, I could follow them easily with my scope, and to my surprise, she actually came to a stop. She looks a million miles away with this wide-angle lens, but she was only 75 yards. With my scope turned up to 6 power, I knew I was shooting through a gap, but I could clearly see her entire vital area from the back of her front leg clear to her back leg. This is about what I saw in my scope, and this line is the groove just behind her front leg. After I shot, she hunched down a bit and turned and slowly walked away while the other elk ran fast. After I finished reloading, I went ahead and double-checked the yardage. The trees just beyond her were 78 yards.
Well, good morning. So you saw my excitement from last night when those elk came through, and I got a pretty good shot. Turns out she was about 75 yards, broadside, a decent shot. I feel like it was solid. I don't think I flinched, but I looked for about 45 minutes last night in all different directions in about 80 yards from my shot, and it was starting to get dark, and I figured if she wasn't down the first 80 yards, I didn't want to push her too far in case for some reason it went a little too far back or something. So kind of a restless night, but I got the help of the guys. 5 guys gonna go spread out and comb that hill, so I'm hopeful that we'll find her. Tonight was really cold, and it feels like it's just barely freezing or slightly above freezing, frost on the windows, so I'm hopeful that everything will be okay, so wish me luck.
Hey Dale, what are you doing this morning?
We are praying to the elk gods to go see if I struck true with my 50 caliber bullet last night. Pretty sure the shot was good. About the only way I think I could have missed is if I'd hit a stick or a branch in between, but only 75 yards. So pretty much broadside. It was a quick shot, usually are, but she was paused. She wasn't walking when I shot. So I'm gonna get up here and just kind of fan out, and I appreciate the help of good hunting buddies.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's go get her.
Looking forward to this, bud. We'll just be dancing the high five right around that beautiful animal.
Spotted 3 deer looking for this elk. Well guys, we've been at it almost 5 hours looking, plus about 45 minutes I looked last night. And we are all using tracks with Onyx and we're sharing them with each other. And we've only got a couple little pockets to go through that we haven't been through yet. And other than that, I'm hoping that was a clean miss. It's just hunting. Hunting is challenging. The whole part, everything about it's challenging. Pretty frustrating. Well guys, no dice today. Thought it was a good shot. We looked at all the tree branches between me and them. There was no tree branches cut, no slugs in the stumps. It was a narrow window to shoot through, but it was a pretty fast shot. It was offhand. I thought it was good. Felt good to me, but we looked. It's 1:30 now. We left here at 6:30 this morning. Between 5 guys looking for that many hours and what I looked last night, we probably put in almost 32 man hours looking for that elk. Everyone tracked with Onyx. Elk was shot right here. I was at the blue dot and we gridded it every which way we could. The only thing we didn't do was the very top opening, which was straight up a really steep hill. She was hit. We thought she probably wouldn't go there, but we checked everywhere else. Even the small gaps between there are only about 30 yards apart. Just choked a little bit or flinched or I don't know. If I hit her, she didn't go down within 3/4 of a mile of where she was at. That's how hunting goes sometimes. Win some, lose some. Good times, but a lot of work, some frustration, but keeps us coming back. So guys, let us know in the comments if you have something like this happen to you. Do you trust your gun without getting it back out there and shooting some paper? But here is the actual target. So 100 yards. This is my shot using the trigger stick, sitting. And then I wanted to prove to myself that I could make a 100-yard offhand, standing, just freehand shot. And I took a shot and I hit there. So 3 or 4 inches off. So I'm not sure what happened with that elk. Well guys, after thinking about this way too much, the bottom line is I didn't put the bullet where it needed to be to bring her down within 100 yards. We didn't find any hair or any blood, so I just really hope it was a clean miss. And I thank my hunting buddies for helping me look for her for so many hours.
We have successfully found a unit with no elk. We've hiked the heck out of it. We're at midday week and we're contemplating what our next move is. What would you do if you hunted half the whole season and had one itty-bitty little encounter with one cow elk and not heard any bugles, and a unit that's supposed to be awesome? Going back to the drawing board, I guess. Or pull up the fishing pole.
Back at camp, our neighbors have had some success. Pretty sure they're archers, so hats off to them. No bugling elk, that's hard to do.
Sit down, cow call.
I'd like to look at some of these roads around on. I have some week time, maybe tomorrow afternoon or something.
Still no elk bugle answers, and nothing but deer.
Well guys, we made an executive decision that for some reason this area up here where we tried this new hunting location, it's got 2 units for our valid tag. At least I was the only one with the muzzleloader tag. Everyone tried to get a muzzleloader tag here. I was the only one that drew. And we have been about 8 miles that way. We've been about 7 miles that way, and we've been all different areas, and we bugled morning and night, and we've glassed and glassed and glassed, and we've heard 0 responses. Maybe 1 on opening morning, but that could have been a hunter because that's when hunters probably were trying to see if elk will bugle. So no bugles at all, and we're pretty frustrated, so we're going to pull up camp. We got 2 more nights to stay. We're going to go back to our main hunting area that we know where the elk bugle, and they were bugling there 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. So maybe if it's later in the year, they're going to be bugling more. So I'll be back down to my cow tag, archery, and Josh and everyone else in the crew, they've got either sex archery, so hopefully I can help call in a bull for them. But it'd be good to get back. There's a campground host that it'll be her last year, and we'll enjoy spending time with her, so we'll get to see her, and we'll be a couple hours closer to home. But so we're going to pack up and move on out, and we'll be in a different location this evening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the camp swap relocation has been complete. We've got time for about an hour and 20 minutes of an evening hunt to a place where we've seen elk fairly consistently, 60% of the time we go down there maybe. So we're gonna go try that. And we're over here in one of our favorite places. However, it's becoming not so favorite because there are people everywhere now. So you kind of have to get back a ways.
right below us.
Alright guys, morning hunt was a bust, so we're just doing a little road bugling. Came to a spot below what we used to call the honey hole. Been a dead zone the last few years, but let out some bugles, bugled off this edge of the road here, and got 2 answers so far. The last one was nice and loud, growly. He's just right down there, probably 300-400 yards. I'm gonna see if we can get him.
As we finished up our snacks, we heard a stick break. We thought maybe he is going to come in. Jason got his bow ready just in case. While it was exciting, nothing ever came in. And that concludes our frustrating 2021 elk season. Make sure you guys check out our next episode. My muzzleloader and I do a much better job.